Could higher ketone levels help you with weight loss and general health? I'm Dr. Brett Scher, the medical director at DietDoctor.com, and the answer may surprise you. Before we answer that question, I want to tell you about some of the benefits you get by being a Diet Doctor Plus member. For one, you get access to all of the talks, the presentations, the speakers, the Q&A sessions from Low Carb Denver this year and in prior years. Now, if you've ever been to Low Carb Denver, you know this to be true. And if you haven't, you need to experience it. But Low Carb Denver is consistently one of the best low carb conferences of the year, with some of the best speakers, some of the most engaging, informative, and thought-provoking talks, and some of the most interactive Q&A sessions. Now, unfortunately, this year, with the coronavirus and travel restrictions, not as many people got to experience it as usual. But that's why we are so fortunate, and our members are so fortunate, to have access to all the talks, all the speakers, all the Q&A sessions on our website. And it's free for members. And since the membership comes with a 30-day free trial, you're essentially getting access to all the talks, all the presentations for free anyway. So you should definitely go to dietdoctor.com/Denver2020. That's dietdoctor.com/Denver2020 to see the whole list of speakers, the whole lineup, and to learn more about Diet Doctor membership. I was fortunate enough to have a talk included in the presentations again. My talk this year was Low Carb Diets and Cardiovascular Health. I hope you enjoyed that talk. But there were a number of other really invigorating talks and really interesting talks with some of the mainstays and some of the big names in the low carb sphere, and also some newcomers who gave some really engaging, interesting talks that I think you would really enjoy. So definitely check those out, dietdoctor.com/Denver2020, and see all the other benefits of being a Diet Doctor Plus member as well. But now back to our main question. Do higher ketone levels help you with weight loss or general health maintenance? Now, first, what are ketones? So ketones are a metabolically active substance in our body that we can use for fuel and other metabolic activities, but they're only really produced when we switch from burning glucose as our main fuel to burning fat as our main fuel. That's something that happens in a ketogenic diet. It can also happen in starvation or fasting or other metabolic situations, but most commonly we talk about it in the setting of a ketogenic diet. So we restrict the glucose, we start burning fat for fuel, and then we produce ketones, which can also be used for fuel in our brains and has other metabolic activities, one of which could be suppressing appetite. So the question is, will we do better at higher ketone levels? Now, if you go back to one of the early Bibles of low-carb living, The Art and Science of Low-Carb Lifestyles by Drs. Finney and Volek. Wow, I can't believe I just did that. Drs. Finney and Volek. If you go back to one of the early Bibles of low-carb living, The Art and Science of Low-Carb Lifestyles by Drs. Finney and Volek, they define nutritional ketosis starting at 0.5 millimoles per liter. So that's measuring beta-hydroxybutyrate, the most common ketone measured in the blood, and getting a level of 0.5 millimoles per liter. But we also have definitions of optimal ketosis being 1.5 to 3, and then with no benefits at above 3. But do we have science to back that up? So interestingly now, that lower level, we have plenty of science to say, well, actually, maybe that definition shouldn't start at 0.5. The Virta Health trials, which have shown significant benefits for diabetes treatments and reversal and getting off type 2 diabetes medications and for weight loss, the average ketone levels were 0.3, 0.4 in that range, not 0.5. So that suggests that that lower limit probably doesn't hold true. And even at levels as low as 0.3 and 0.4, you're still going to see significant benefits from a ketogenic diet. But what about this optimal ketosis from 1.5 to 3? It actually turns out that there's other evidence showing that as ketones go down over time, weight loss can continue or even improve. We don't really have the science to support that we should be shooting for higher ketone levels. So at Diet Doctor, we've written in the past that we want to shoot for optimal ketosis. We're sort of backing away from that recommendation, that for the vast majority of people interested in health, weight loss, blood sugar management, hypertension management, that your ketone levels probably don't matter. What matters is the lifestyle, the carbohydrate reduction, prioritizing your protein, using fat as a lever for satiety and for calories, naturally reducing your caloric intake. Living that lifestyle is what gives you the health benefits, not necessarily the ketone levels. Now, Are there some exceptions? Well, measuring ketones in general can be very important when you're starting a ketogenic diet. Are you doing it right? Are you getting into ketosis? Well, if you're checking your ketones and they're unmeasurable, then chances are you're not following the proper ketogenic diet. But if you're checking them and you are getting ketones, then you know you're following a proper ketogenic diet for you. Now, for some people, that may be 75 grams or 50 grams of carbohydrates per day. And for some people, maybe as low as 20 grams of carbohydrates per day are necessary to get you into ketosis. So checking for that matters. Or if you hit a weight loss stall and you're not sure if you're still in ketosis, sure, checking ketones there matters. But again, for overall health, weight loss, blood sugar management, probably not as important. But there are some other situations where it may be important. Treating seizures, treating other neurological conditions, which should always be done with guidance of a physician anyway. But for that, higher ketone levels may make a difference. There's a lot of ongoing cancer research. Higher ketone levels may make a difference. Athletic performance may make a difference. Cognitive performance for some may make a difference. Now, we don't have a lot of evidence to support this and back it up, but certainly some anecdotal reports, clinical experience, and some level of scientific evidence seems to suggest those may be the case. So some people may be saying, well, if there's a potential to benefit all those things anyway, why not shoot for higher ketones? Why shouldn't anybody be doing it anyway? And the reason that we don't recommend everybody shoot for higher ketones is because, well, what do you have to do to get higher ketones? Well, one is you can just drink them, and that can elevate your ketone level. But we don't know that that's healthy for the long term. In fact, there's some concern it may actually suppress endogenous or natural ketone production in your body. It may suppress fatty acid oxidation and metabolism. We don't have great scientific studies on this one way or the other, but there's certainly the suggestion that that may be the case. So taking exogenous ketones may not be completely benign. Plus, they're expensive, and if you don't need them, why spend your money on them? But the other way you can raise your ketones is by adding extra fat. So whether it's just taking MCT oil or drinking butter coffee in the morning, those types of added fats can increase your ketone levels. Well, that's not always a benign thing either. Because remember, a ketogenic diet, one of the benefits of it is that it helps you naturally downregulate your calories. It helps with natural caloric restriction without even thinking about it. Part of that could be lower insulin. Part of it could be the satiety of the diet with the protein and fiber-rich foods. And part of it can be the ketones themselves. But the key is that you tend to eat less. But now if you're adding extra calories that you don't necessarily need, that can be counterproductive to your weight loss benefits. So how do you define calories that you need, especially fat calories? Well, we recommend using fat as a variable lever for taste and satiety. If you're already full and you're not hungry anymore, if your meals are adequately pleasing, then you don't really need to add any extra fat. Any extra fat that you're needing at that point, we consider unnecessary fat and may just be adding extra calories. So there is a potential downside to trying to push your ketones higher. And that's why it's probably best just to say, look, I'm following a ketogenic diet, I'm following the lifestyle, and for the majority of people, that's good enough for weight loss, for blood sugar management, for overall health benefits. But if you fall into one of these scenarios that we've talked about, maybe it's worth looking into your ketones a little bit more. One other area I should mention is weight loss stalls. Now, this area is a little controversial, but could some people who are stuck in a weight loss stall, could they benefit from a higher level of ketones? Now, we actually have an article about this at dietdoctor.com, but for weight loss in general, adding higher level of ketones is way down at like number 16 out of 18. It's not even in the top 10 of things we would recommend because there's so many other things to check to see if you're doing that could be contributing to a weight loss stall. But if you've checked all those boxes, if you've read that guide at dietdoctor.com, you've checked everything, you're doing everything right, and you're still stuck in a stall, maybe as a last-ditch effort, it may be worth pushing up your ketones. But that's complete anecdotal clinical experience that's probably not going to apply to too many people. All right, so in conclusion, do higher ketones matter? For some, the answer is yes, as I've outlined in this video, but for the vast majority, the answer is no. Higher ketone levels don't make a difference for overall health, weight loss, blood sugar control. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please click subscribe below, and that way you'll get updates for helpful videos like this, plus our podcasts and our news videos and our recipe and cooking demonstrations and our new videos with Christy Sullivan, really trying to help make low carb simple and really give you simple, practical tips. All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care of yourself. Be happy, be healthy, be safe. We'll see you next time.